You have to be customer service, be the returns department. You have to be the point person listing, fact checking your listings, QA. You've got to be the CEO and president, the brains behind how to grow. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to JMax Sports Cards. My name is Jason. Thanks for tuning in. Today I wanted to talk about a subject that was prompted by a couple different things. I've had to deal with a couple different returns. One of them was here on eBay recently. One of them was my fault. I shipped the wrong card. Had to make that right. If you're new to the channel, I am a reseller on eBay, sell mostly sports cards, but I'm going to be moving into quite a few different categories probably this year. And so big on selling online. I also set up at shows as a sports card dealer at trade shows, things of that nature. And I've been doing that for a couple years. At one point it was sort of more of the primary way to sell. I also always have been selling on eBay, but I'm making a push now to go pretty strong here selling online. I'm picking orders this morning, so sold this Nolan Ryan, graded it myself. This is 1984 Fleer. This is something you can probably get at most boxes for $1, and I was fortunate enough to grab one that was very well centered, and I graded it myself, and you can see it came back a 9. This one sold for $42.99 was the list price. Someone checked out full price. I've got a 15% off running through the end of the year on anything in the store, so someone checked out and picked that up for $42.99 minus 15% off, so I think it was like $35. A pretty good margin on that card. But so I'm picking orders from what sold, people actually paid for overnight, so this was one of them. There's quite a few more raw cards as well, and that's typically how my days go. I'll sell 1 or 2 graded cards and a bunch of raw cards every day. Probably 50. I'm just coming in now pretty steadily at 15 to 25 items are being sold daily. A couple things, like I said, dealing with those issues had me thinking about a few things that I think a lot of people could relate to, and people who want to be resellers, want to run businesses, want to be self-employed, or should begin to consider and think about before entering into this. And I think a lot of people enter into it and think it's just going to go just however they had in their minds that it's going to go, and they are quickly disappointed by the process, because you got to do everything as a running your own business, self-employed. You have to be customer service, be the returns department. You have to be the point person listing, fact checking your listings, QA. You've got to be the CEO and president, the brains behind how to grow. All of the parts of a business, the points of a business that make it successful, you're touching all those points. So saying all that, I am saying that a lot of people are mentally and maybe even emotionally unprepared for this. If you begin to evolve into having that mindset that's being a eBay reseller, being an online seller of anything, you are actually running a business, okay? And I think a lot of people forget that. So being upset by returns, being upset by customers who are just seemingly ridiculous in their demands and or complaints.
But they'll complain and complain and complain and complain and complain.
Then you really don't have much understanding about business, because people are that. Everything I just said, people are.
So people are crazy.
People are ridiculous. People are hard to deal with. People are going to maybe even falsely say things, okay? And they're going to want to try to steal. They're going to want to try to get over on you. But at the end of the day, it's how you deal with those situations is what makes or breaks you. And not only makes or breaks your business, but makes or breaks you wanting to continue to do your business. So you got to have thick skin in a business in running a business. You have to be able to deal with these kinds of situations. You know, I say all this to say, I see people posting about what people, maybe some people are just venting on different Facebook and social media platforms where they post what people say on eBay when they're returning or excuses they're making and stuff like that. For me, it's been by and large a very, very, very small percentage of the business that takes place, the transactions that take place online that are those. So let me keep picking here. A couple other cards here that sold. Picked them this morning. A nice second year Kobe. It's Metal Universe. Sold for $7. Nice. I don't know. This second, third year Shaq Topps Gold. That sold for $3. So yeah, to kind of finalize the thought here is yeah, to be successful, you think of the companies that you think of when you think of customer service, and just sometimes you will do business with just because of how the business is ran and because of the service that you get. I think of it like Costco. You know, me and my wife and my wife and her mom were talking about getting a membership at Sam's Club or Costco, and so the debate was, you know, which one is better. So if any of you have ever had memberships at both, which we have, and have been to both, you know, Costco pays their employees really well. A lot of they don't have a lot of turnover. The people love working there. You get good customer service. You know, it might not have the variety that Sam's Club does, but end of the day, they have just great service. So I'll take a Costco membership all day long over a Sam's Club membership, right? So that's basing my decision to deal with them not necessarily because of cost, but because of the service and the reputation of the company, right? So there's a lot to be said to that. So I think a lot of people could learn from thinking how they would spend their dollars if they were to apply some of those principles to their business. So anyway, with these two situations, I took care of the one guy that I sent the wrong card to. I told him keep that card and I'll just ship you the other one. And the big thing was, I mean, this wasn't high dollar. It was under $10, but it was an auto, a Recon basketball auto. And I sent him a vet when it was a rookie auto, Jalen Harris, I believe it was. So I told him, you know, keep the vet auto. And he's also getting his rookie auto. The guy was just thrilled. He kept saying thank you in the comment section, right? So did I maybe lose a few dollars, a couple, $3 or $4? Sure. Does that matter in the big scheme of things? No, absolutely. The guy's going to leave a raving feedback, or, you know, on eBay. I'm pretty certain once he gets his card, you know, and he'll probably be a repeat buyer. There's a good chance he'll be a repeat buyer. Even if he's not, guess what? I leave it feeling good, and I leave, and so there's being, you know, there's being good, and then there's trying to be great. And that's something I'm striving for with what I'm doing. So with this whole thing. So is it frustrating? Is it mentally taxing? Absolutely. The guy with it was a $2 card, and he was concerned about condition. And it was a Jordan Fleer, like a base card that, you know, sells for a lot of times $5, and he bought it for $2. I accepted an offer for $2. It had a tip corner, I think, you know, and the scans that I do, you know, you could see that. So could I have disputed it and fought with him over it? Sure. But he seemed like the guy, he wrote a long, lengthy comment about the condition of it when it was a $2 card. So I knew that this would be a fight not to enter into, because this guy would make a big stink about a $2 card. So I said I'd be glad. I didn't even comment anything. I just said I'd be glad to give you a refund just to initiate the return process and return the card, and I will refund you the money. So did I lose on that one? Did I lose a little bit of money on that one? Probably so as well. Once I get the card back, you know, I'll probably relist it and make sure I put in a description, which I typically try to do. But also, like I said, the high resolution scans that I'm doing now also, you know, you should be able to see, and it's raw. So, and if you're paying that much, you're not, the expectation shouldn't be that you're getting some Gem Mint 10 card. But end of the day, that's just part of the process. And by overreacting and getting into an arguing match with the guy, what would I have produced? It probably would have produced negative feedback, and it probably would have not went over well. And the thing about running businesses now with social media is if you have a bad day and then you take it out on a customer, guess what? You're probably going to wind up on a Facebook page, Facebook group screenshot of your conversation, or on Instagram or on Twitter.
You're internet famous.
And your business has a chance of being put on blast if you have a bad day and bad dealing with the customer. So that's that all of those things factor into what you need to think about when you're running your online reselling business. Hopefully some of this stuff you could relate to, and hopefully some of this stuff is stuff that you might could use to help run a better business. So if it is, and this something like this is something you enjoy, I'd love to hear some feedback, and I'd love to have you guys come on back over. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Till next time, guys, that's all I got. Deuces.